Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Am I audible clearly?
Yes, sir.
In the last class or till from second module, what all we have learned, we are just discussing with respect to the light wave, how exactly it transmits or propagates within the fiber. And now during its transmission or during its propagation, what are all the different types of losses it is going to experience, all those we are learning. Correct? Now starting with attenuation, correct? Now, after that attenuation, we have seen the dispersion. So these are the two important phenomena or mechanisms which purely affect the light wave which is propagating through this medium or the OFC channel. Correct? Now, if we try to minimize these both errors, then an OFC will be highly efficient and it can propagate the light wave at longer distances. Correct? Now, moving with the next part, the next loss which is going to experience the light wave in an OFC cable will be the dispersion. Okay, even I started with this yesterday. So, what exactly is this dispersion and why dispersion will occur, and what are the different types of dispersion? All we have seen yesterday. Correct. Now, dispersion is nothing but what? Can anyone just tell me what may be this dispersion? Yes. Yeah. Anyone? Rally, Chaitanya. What exactly is this dispersion? What do you mean by dispersion? Rally, Chaitanya. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so dispersion is nothing but what? Just it is spreading of a pulse. That pulse or a wave or a light or a ray, whichever which tries to enter within this OFC cable. Correct. Now that particular whatever the light wave which comes in, it starts to broaden its width. Yeah, which is due to again what the dispersion phenomenon. Dispersion is nothing but what? It is the spreading of light. Now, of course, we will be passing a digital signal. Like for example, what we discussed yesterday was 1011. Correct. Now, one is a bit or zero is a bit which is not at all passed. I mean, light wave will not be passed at zeroth input, and when again it encounters one again, and light wave will be passed at higher bit. So this is how 1011 will be transmitted. Now, whatever the one bit or the pulse which has been sent through this channel or link, now what will happen for that particular pulses, wherever we have these high pulses, okay, now we will be getting a spreading of this pulse, okay, and of course, little decrease in its amplitude, and there will be what the spreading of the pulse. Okay. See, where we will be having starting edge, rising edge and falling edge for a square wave. Correct? Now there, before rising edge and after the falling edge, we will be having some amount of rise in this square wave, which is converted in the form of a sine wave like signal. So that it just interprets or it just tells you that there is a spread of a pulse or the light pulse or the light wave. Correct? Next. Now, even we have seen what ISI, and due to this dispersion, the ISI will happen. Now, what is that ISI? Already we have seen, which is intersymbol interference. Okay, this intersymbol interference is nothing but what? It is again the spreading of the bit into adjacent bits. Correct? Now, for example, what I just told, the beginning of a bit period and the ending, where exactly the period ends, it is the pulse will be spreading on both the ends and it tries to overlap with the next bit. Correct? Suppose, for example, if I have 1 and 1, correct? Now, the at the rising, at the falling edge, it tries to overlap with the next rising edge of a pulse. Correct? It means the since the pulses starts to get broadened. Okay, now due to that, while or during broadening, it tries to overlap with the amplitude of the next pulse. Clear? So such overlapping of a pulse, okay, we usually call it as what? ISI. That is intersymbol interference. It means the symbol will be going to interfere internally. Now, To move with, we have studied, just to tell again, we have different types of dispersions in an OFC cable. Now, usually we classify it as what? Chromatic dispersion or intermodal dispersion and intramodal dispersion. We have two major: intermodal dispersion and intramodal dispersion. Okay. Now, intramodal dispersion already we learned yesterday. Now, what is that intramodal dispersion? Intramodal dispersion is also called as chromatic dispersion. Okay. Now, that chromatic dispersion is nothing but what? Anyone? Tell me what may be this intramodal or chromatic dispersion? See, this intramodal dispersion, it tries to occur in almost all types of optical fibers. Okay. So as you know that the optical sources, whichever have been used in the OFC, see, these try to emit a band of frequencies. And, we will be always talking it in terms of a multimode. Multimode means there will be so many number of waves entering in, and all will be having it with their own frequency. Now we'll be terming it as a band of frequency. So they will not be emitting just a single frequency. When we have a multi-mode means there will be different modes and all will be having their own frequency. So in turn, it won't, the optical source which is used in multi-mode will not be just emitting a single frequency wave. Correct. Now therefore, whatever the spectral components which will be present in the source which we are trying to use here, okay, so it will be taking the different propagation delay while traveling through this OFC. Correct. It means all those waves they have got their own frequency and their own wavelength and their own velocity, which it tries to propagate through the cable. Correct. It means there will be some propagation delay, and there will be a difference in those delays also. Correct. Now this phenomena, so this will result in the broadening of each the transmitted pulse. Correct. And this will be responsible for intramodal dispersion. Okay. I repeat again. Here we have a group of waves and they have got their own what frequency band or the wavelengths or the different wavelengths I can tell. Different frequencies means of course in turn different wavelengths. Yeah. Now these try to when these will be traveling with different propagation delays. Correct. Now each pulse will try to broaden and mix up or overlap with the other pulse of the other mode during the transmitted mode or during the transmission mode. Okay. Now, due to which we are going to get intramodal dispersion. It means dispersion means again what? Spreading. Intramodal. Such phenomena we usually call as intramodal dispersion. Or this is also called as, popularly also called as chromatic dispersion. Okay. It means more number of wavelengths. Why? We have more number of waves with different frequencies. Correct? So such phenomena we also call as what? Chromatic dispersion. Okay, see these usually will be found more in LEDs in compared to the lasers. Okay, I hope you have seen the LED, yeah? Light emitting diodes. Okay. In LEDs we find what more chromatic dispersion. Okay, now this whatever the delay difference which is caused by the dispersive properties, okay, of the material which have been used in this waveguide. So this will be causing the material dispersion, which already we learned. Right? I just repeat the wave which tries to travel or propagate through this OFC material using which it is made up of. Okay, so that material, due to that material which is used for waveguide to fabricate, correct, and that material may cause dispersion. It means that material is also responsible for dispersion. Such dispersion we will be calling it as material dispersion. That we already learned. Clear? Now coming to the waveguide point of view. Correct? It means that waveguide, whatever has been used here, correct? That waveguide, it may guide or through during its guide. Okay, we may observe or we may experience such some effects within the fiber structure. Okay, now due to which a dispersion occurs. Okay, such dispersion we will be calling as waveguide dispersion. Okay. Now we'll quickly see that waveguide dispersion. Now what exactly is that waveguide dispersion? See, if I consider an OFC cable considering core and cladding with its own refractive index that is N1 greater than N2. Now if I consider the core part, now what do? I pass a light wave with higher wavelength. Higher wavelength means its frequency will be less. Okay, now when this is the case, it tries to or the wavelength, the signal width of the signal with high wavelength, it tries to penetrate into the cladding at greater part or with a greater content. It means whatever the light wave we have with high wavelength, it tries to penetrate in the cladding. Clear? Now, since this is multimode, it means greater portion of light will start to enter. Now, when I make greater part of light to enter through the core, correct? Now, due to high wavelength, it tries to penetrate in the cladding part. It means gradually as it moves along the axis, correct? And gradually as it moves along the core axis, it means more amount of light starts to penetrate into the cladding material. Clear? Now, due to which what? See, we already know in the cladding part, it will be with high velocity. Clear? Now, it means the light wave which is trying to enter or which is moving in this OFC cable has different frequency, different wavelength, and different velocity. Clear? So longer wavelengths means it will be propagating at at a higher rate or with a faster velocity. Clear? It means now the the light wave is going to travel through two different waveguides, one along core and one more along cladding. And core and cladding, they have got their own the path lengths associated with its wavelength and velocity. See, in core it will be moving with less velocity, and at cladding it will be moving with greater velocity. Correct? Now, due to which we will be getting some dispersion over here. It means some guiding properties will be get affected. Okay, it means whatever the dielectric structure or whatever the dielectric material used in this OFC cable for core and cladding, those physical properties will vary the light wave traveling with different components, maybe frequency or wavelength or velocity. Correct. Now, due to this change in guide, correct, such dispersion we will be calling as waveguide dispersion. Simple. Okay. Now this waveguide, okay, we already know what is a waveguide. It is just a structure through which it will be guiding the electromagnetic waves to travel through. Correct? It means it tries to minimize the loss, but still, practically, depending upon the material, depending upon the change in wavelength or frequency, there may be what the problem to the light wave which tries to travel through this waveguide, due to which what the waveguide dispersion may occur due to change in some components. Clear? I hope I'm clear with, or you people are clear with what the waveguide dispersion. Or in other words to tell, this waveguide dispersion, it means this is purely using the propagation constant or the mode propagation constant. You know, propagation constant means what? Is in that particular constant, there will be a light wave which is propagating and which is given by the beta. So this beta is a function of size of this core, yeah, which is related to the wavelength of operation. It means the light wave is a function of both wavelength as well as the size. Okay. Now, this waveguide dispersion will be occurring due to the light wave which propagates differently in the core and than in cladding. It means I just mentioned what the light wave will be propagating with different components or different specifications in core and cladding. Okay, now due to this, waveguide dispersion will be occurring. Clear? And see, this waveguide dispersion usually or the waveguide dispersion and material dispersion. See, these are separate process. Okay. Waveguide dispersion will be due to waveguide and material dispersion will be due to material what used in the fabrication. Okay. Next, the multimode waveguide dispersion, whatever we have, so that will be generally small compared to material dispersion. And repeat, the waveguide dispersion which we find or found in multimode, okay, it will be small compared to material dispersion. Why? The waveguide dispersion usually it will be neglected. Why the waveguide dispersion in multimode will be small compared to material? due to the changing refractive indexes. Okay. Okay. Now in single mode fibers, the material and waveguide dispersion, whatever we are, see, these are interrelated. Now, do we find do we find the waveguide dispersion in single mode or no? The question. Do we find the waveguide dispersion in single mode fibers or no? Huh? I hope you are getting me. You already know what is a single mode and what is a multi mode. Correct? Now, what do you mean by single mode? There will be a single light wave entering in. Correct? Now, whether this single light wave which is entering through this OFC cable, will it undergo the waveguide dispersion or no? Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Got my question? With respect to single mode, as a single light wave will be entering, correct? Now, whether will it undergo the waveguide dispersion or not? See, now we are already clear with waveguide dispersion. Any doubts in waveguide dispersion? Okay. See, with respect to multi-mode, we know there are different waves with different wavelengths. Now, do we have this in single mode? No, there will be a single wave, light wave with a single wavelength. It means I don't find different waves with different what the components. There will be almost no question of the waveguide dispersion in single mode fibers. Or in other word, I can tell that this is almost minimized by the material used and the waveguide properties on which the wavelength of operation will be used or depending. Clear? Next. Now we'll move with the next type, that is intermodal. Okay. Now with respect to ISI, I hope it is clear. Okay. It means the pulses which overlap with neighboring light pulses and where it will be hard to identify at the receiving end. We already know with respect to ISI, it is very much difficult to identify the light pulses at the receiving end. Due to what? The overlap. See, at the input side, it will be clearly specified as 1011. Now, due to ISI at the receiving end, what happens? Those pulses which have been propagated through this OFC, which experiences ISI, will not be distinguished at the receiving end. Okay, again, that will be due to what? The pulse broadening. Clear? Next. Now we'll move with material dispersion. We also seen waveguide dispersion. Okay, we just have learned this waveguide dispersion. Now we'll move with the intermodal dispersion. Okay, what is this intermodal dispersion? See, this is also called as modal dispersion or mode dispersion. See, there are so many names associated with this. Okay, I'll tell all those different names. Just don't try to confuse however they may ask you. Modal dispersion or mode dispersion. Okay, intermodal dispersion. Correct. Now, see, this intermodal dispersion is usually found in multimode optical fibers again. Okay. Now, why and how we'll see. See, these multimode fibers are the fibers again which will be allowing various modes to propagate through it. Correct. So therefore, it won't be observed in single mode, as there will be only single mode to propagate through this single mode fiber. It means only single wave. See, I'm just repeating it again and again. Simple things. Single mode, single wave. Multi-mode, multi-wave. With different frequencies and all. Clear? But see, but the single mode fibers, which is a single wave, it tries to suffer from intramodal dispersion or the chromatic dispersion. Clear? Why? When the first light wave comes, the second light wave will come. It may be with different wavelength. Correct? When the third, of course, see, single mode means only single wave will be entering. correct? And not all the time, the light wave which is entering into the OFC cable will be of same wavelength. No. Clear? The condition here is it should be single mode or a single light wave. But every time the light which is entering in or the light wave which is entering in will not have always the same wavelength. That is why it tries to experience or undergoes chromatic dispersion. I hope I'm clear. Okay. Next, the intermodal dispersion. So that will be it will be due to the propagation delay. We just learned intermodal dispersion means multimode, more number of waves, correct? More with different velocities, with different frequency of wavelength. Okay. Now we will be finding the delay difference. I mean propagation delay difference between those different modes. Clear? Now due to which we are going to get what? The dispersion or the broadening of those light pulses. Okay. Such dispersion we usually call as intermodal dispersion. Okay. Next. This intermodal dispersion is found more in multimode step index file, correct, rather than in multimode graded index file. Yeah. Now I repeat, intermodal dispersion is found more in case of multimode step index fiber rather than graded index fiber. And we'll see why. See, if I consider the multimode step index fiber, I repeat, in the case of multimode step index fiber, the refractive index of core is uniform. Do you agree? Correct? I repeat, the refractive index of the core is uniform throughout the core. Why? This is step index. See, because of the same refractive index throughout the core of this multi-mode, different modes which will be propagating through the core, it tries to travel with the same speed. Here we don't find with different speeds. Why? The Ri is same. Ri is constant. See, because of this same speed, correct? Different light waves which are launched into this optical fiber at different angles or at different transmitting end, it will be taking different times to reach to the other end of this cable. Correct? As there will be a propagation path or different path length. So that will be changing with change in angle while launching. Okay. I hope you've understood why exactly the intermodal dispersion is found more in step index. Clear? But why not in graded index? That will see. I just repeat again. The Ri of core is uniform, correct? Due to which the light wave has to travel with same speed, correct? And but of course it is traveling with same speed, but the different light waves will be entering at different angles. Now, due to this different angles entry, clear? Due to this different angles of light rays entering in, will make a light wave to reach other end at different paths. Clear? Due to which intermodal dispersion will occur more in step index. Now we'll see why it is less in graded index. Okay. Now with respect to graded index, so less intermodal is usually observed. Why? The Ri with respect to core is not uniform. No, graded index means see, we have a parabolic curve over there. Correct? Now, due to this parabolic curve nature of this refractive index from core till cladding, what I can tell this is or the refractive index with respect to core is not uniform. Correct? Now, what exactly is it? It will be the Ri is maximum at core axis and it decreases gradually on either sides of the clad or when it tries to move away from the core. Now, you can recall this profile. It means the Ri is maximum at core and it starts gradually decreasing on either parts of the cladding. Next, the refractive index is maximum at core in case of graded. Now, the refractive index of the cladding is uniform. Do you agree? In the earlier case, the Ri with respect to core was uniform. Now here in graded index, the Ri of cladding is uniform. Correct? But how you may think the non-uniform Ri of core is reducing this intermodal dispersion? You can tell me? I repeat, how exactly the non-uniform refractive index of core tries to reduce the intermodal dispersion. Yes? Anyone? Okay. See, as the light rays travel slower in denser medium, correct, which is high refractive index. We also know that the Ri in case of graded index fiber is maximum at core and it decreases as we move radially away from this core. Correct. Now, can based on this phenomena, the light rays which are traveling with different what the velocities or with different mediums, that is denser medium and what inner medium. Okay. Now, due to this change in what the refractive index, the waves which are experiencing the dispersion will be reduced. Okay. I hope it's clear why the intermodal dispersion it is there, but it will be with less amount in graded index fiber. We do find intermodal dispersion in graded index also, but at very lesser extent compared to step index. Okay, I will just repeat in 1 minute. Step index means Ri is uniform in core and Ri is non-uniform in cladding. Okay. Next, with respect to what the graded index, the Ri with respect to core is varying, but the Ri is uniform with respect to cladding. Okay. Now, due to these changes, the intermodal dispersion will be less in graded and more in step. Okay. Next. Now, we have one small derivation associated with this. It means with respect to multi-mode step index fiber, as I just mentioned, using a ray theory model and all, we'll consider or we'll derive one small equation over here. That equation we'll be trying to derive what the minimum delay and all those. Yeah. Now, the time taken for the ray which is passing through the axis. Now, I will be considering that that length of a fiber is L, and it tries to give the minimum delay time, that is T min. Okay, the minimum delay time T min, and that is given by what? Distance by velocity. Okay. Here I am trying to find the value or the equation for T min, that is the minimum delay time. Okay, that is given by what? Distance by velocity. Now, based on some science concept, you can derive this. Distance by velocity. Distance is in terms of L. Velocity means is what? It is C by N1. Considering the velocity of light and the what? The refractive index N1. This is now velocity I am considering with respect to both air as well as or cladding as well as core. Okay. Now I'll take this N1 to the numerator, which will be Ln1 by C, where N1 is core Ri, velocity of light. Next. Now we found minimum time. Now we'll go with maximum delay time. It means what will be the maximum delay time it takes, considering the meridional ray. Yeah, the meridional ray means what we already know. The ray which will be propagating along the axis. That is given by T max L divided by cos theta divided by C by N1. Let's try to reframe the equation. Take N1 to numerator, cos theta to denominator. So ln1 divided by c into cos theta. Simple. Okay. So now I will apply Snell's law for this. What is that Snell's law? We already know. Sine with critical angle, it is n2 by n1, which is equal to cos theta. What do I do? We will express cos theta is n2 by n1. I will use this value n2 by n1 here. Where I have cos theta, that will be replaced with n2 by n1. Okay. Next. Now, what is n2 we already know? It is Ri of cladding. Okay. Now, if I just replace that cos theta, which is n2 by n1, see here it is n2 by n1 means n1 will go to numerator, which will be L n1 square by C n2. Here. L n1 square by C n2. Simple substitution. Clear? Now with respect to figure, you can just see over here. I have an axial ray and I have what? A meridional ray also with respect to multimode. See now this is for a multimode. These two light waves are entering. Okay. Now they have got their own RIs. See now two what the mediums are involved. One air and one more is OFC. Next. Now we'll try to find the delay difference. It means see now see I have two waves over here. One axial ray and one more is extreme meridional ray. It means there is some what the delay over here. Okay. This delay difference we try to calculate. This delta Ts is equal to T max minus T min. Okay, just subtract this. Ln1 square by C n2 minus Ln1 by C, which we calculated here. Ln1. Now just subtract or take Ln1 square by C n2 out. Okay, now what will be remaining? It will be 1 minus n2 by n1. Hope I'm correct. Correct? If you just try to solve this simple equation, 1 minus you have n2 here, it should cancel. So n2 and I have n1 here, I should get only one n1, so n1. So 1 minus n2 by n1. You just multiply n1 minus n2 by n1. So we already know what is this. n1 minus n2 divided by n1. What is that? It is delta, which is the relative refractive index difference, which we already learned. Delta. n1 minus n2 divided by n1. And it is always lesser than 1. Why? Because based on this only we can what get this value. See, I hope n1 minus n2 by n1 is clear. This is delta, a relative refractive index difference. Okay. Just that I have just rewritten here. Approximately equal to n1 minus n2 by n2. So this is another way I can put it. In the denominator, I can consider n1 or n2. Why? These are almost nearly equal. Hardly with very 0.00 with some value, we find the difference between n1 and n2. It is not that greater difference between n1 and n2. Okay. Now we'll try to rearrange this equation. That is delta Ts is equal to L n1 by C into n1 minus n2 by n2. This equation trying to use. Okay. Which is also equal to L n1 into delta by C. Okay. L n1 put it as it is by C as it is. The delta value, we know that delta I have put it. Now we try to express this delta in terms of NA. See, this also we derived in earlier classes. Correct? L that is delta in terms of numerical aperture. Now I will be using that equation 2.10. Okay. I'm using the 2.10 equation. This delta Ts will be L Na square divided by 2n1 into C. Okay. 2.10. Let me show you that 2.10. What is that? Okay, you can see here what is the 2.10 here. Here it is. Numerical aperture is n1 into square root of 2 times delta. I am trying to use this equation. Okay. Now that value I am replacing over here. And if I replace that value here, I am going to get, okay. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Here clearly as mentioned, I am using that NA value or the delta value. Clear? If you just transform that NA, I am going to get like this. It was square root of 2 times delta, right? That I have that square root I removed, and that NA which was an LHS, it is with square. That's all. And what is this NA? This numerical aperture of the fiber, N1, array of core, C, speed of light, L, the length of the cable. Okay, so delta TS is what? It is the delta TS is the delay. Okay, now the expressions for this delay difference, which is given in these two, you just compare these two. Delta TS L N1 delta by C. Okay, delta TS which is L Na square by 2 N1 into C. Now usually these will be used to calculate the delay difference. And again, which will be due to what? The intermodal dispersion in multimode step. Okay, next. Now what do we do? Okay, you can see the light input with respect to multimode or the multimode step index fiber. We know this. Okay. Now, what exactly is it? Now it has got its own amplitude. Okay, and if I consider 0 at the mean on either sides, it will be with half. That is delta TS by 2, delta TS by 2 together will be delta TS. And that delta TS we just calculate. That's all. It will be half on either side. Done. Now with respect to this, we consider the step index fiber. Now with respect to this intermodal dispersion for this link, the whatever the RMS pulse we have, which is broadened, correct, due to dispersion mechanism. So the optical input to this optical fiber is the pulse, that is P1 of T of some certain area. Okay, which is shown over here, 3.12. It has got its own area. It means this P of T is ranging from minus
Excuse me, sir. So your mic is off.
When it got
So few seconds ago.
till now it was audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Few seconds only, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Now, what I was telling, yeah, with respect to mean value, it is 0. Clear? Now, usually what whatever the temporal we try to view its equation, that will be with respect to what the peak value of the amplitude. And the peak value which I am trying to calculate or measure here, that will be 0 here, the mean value. Okay, that's same mean value he has mentioned here. Mean value M1 for this input will be 0. And assuming this has maintained for output pulse also. Now what we try to do, but for M2 it won't be 0. Why? I'm going with the next order. If I just compare with the previous equation. And that sigma s square, which is M2, will be T square P1 of T. You may ask me why the limits are from minus infinity to plus infinity. You can see the graph here. It means either on the negative side, it can start from anywhere, and on the right hand side, it may stop till anywhere. Correct? So the limits will be from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay. Now I try to limit it. How I will trying to limit it now based on this figure, that is 3.12, this illustration. What do I do? Sigma s square is minus delta ts by 2 plus delta ts by 2 with the same. What I'm trying to do, I'm replacing this t square into p. T square as it is, and then p1 is 1 by delta ts. And what is that p? Just consider here. Optical input to the fiber. It's a pulse. Clear? And that pulse is given in terms of 1 by delta ds. T square as it is. Now, if you just try to integrate this, 1 by delta ts, which is constant, put it as it is. Integration of t square will be what? T cube by 3. Correct? Now put its value and or put this value, that is delta ts by 2 and minus delta ts by 2. If you simplify this, you are going to get something like this. Yeah. Now finally substitute for delta ts. Okay. Now you can observe this. Okay, you will be getting the final equation. Now, what in this equation, what we got in terms of NA, right? The same equation, if I employ its value, I am going to get the final value. See, this I have solved in detail in my notes. Okay, I'll be putting the first model and second model notes today. Okay, here I have clearly solved it. Or you can solve it on your own also. Or I have solved it. Okay. Now, we'll consider one simple problem on this. Very small problem. An optical link is of 6 kilometer and core RI is 1.5 and delta is 1%. Now I have to calculate the delay difference, that is delta TS, for both the modes, slow mode as well as fast mode. Then RMS pulse broadening due to this intermodal. Then bit rate we have to calculate. And finally the bandwidth length product. So this maximum bit rate and bandwidth length, we have done this yesterday. Same concept. It will be followed over here. Okay. First one. The delay difference. The delay difference will be given by what? Delta TS is equal to what? L N1 delta by C. So all the things are given over here. L is given 6 kilometer. N1 is given 1.5 and delta is also given 1%, so 0.01. Divided by C means 3 into 10 raised to 8. Okay. Now it will be 300 nanoseconds. This is the delay difference, which is between slowest and fastest mode. Okay. Next, the RMS pulse broadening, which is due to intermodal dispersion. Now, what is that formula? Sigma S. RMS pulse broadening is given by sigma s, which is L and not delta by 2 root 3 C, which we just derived. Correct? Tava equation here. And now I'm trying to use that equation. Now what it will be? L 6 kilometers and 1.5. Those are same. 2 root 3 into 3 C. Okay. Now this will be RMS pulse broadening will be 86.7 nanometers. Clear? Now what is next? C, maximum bit rate. Oh, how to calculate maximum bit rate? We have done yesterday 1 by 2 tau. And the tau here is delta Ts. Correct? See, 1 by 2 as it is. Now here what is the time period tau? Delta Ts. How it is delta Ts? From this. Considering the delay difference. Correct? Now you may have a doubt here. How this tau become delta tau s? Tau is what? It is a total time period. Why delta is acting over here? Because there is some delay. I have to consider for that what the propagation delay difference. Why this is a multimode? That delta factor should be considered to calculate the bit rate. It means some amount of bits will be also passed during this delay also. So the bits will also be transmitted during this delta time also. That is why we have to consider. Okay. Now, so if we can put this value, we are going to get 1.7 megabits. Okay. Next. Now, we try to improve this by calculating or using the pulse broadening value which we have already used. Okay, we have another formula for this, that is 0.2 by sigma s. So it will be 2.3. It means I am trying to improve this. Okay, I hope it's clear. It means here we have assumed that there is no pulse overlap. Correct? Now what I am trying to do, I am calculating the same thing, that is BT max, that is maximum bit rate with overlap. This no pulse overlap and this will be with pulse overlap. See, the value itself is clear. Without overlap means there are 1.7 too much of megabits per second. With overlap means 2.3 megabits per second. It means more number of bits try to travel even though there is an overlap. I mean, in between those ISI or overlap, still the what bits are propagated. Then that is what the pulse broadening equation. Done. Next, the last, that is product, bandwidth length product. That is given by what? B of 10 to L. Now we have to consider 2.3 only. So this is an improved estimate. 2.3 mega into the length 6 kilometers. So finally, I'll be having a bandwidth length product as 13.8 megahertz kilometer. Okay. This is a simple problem. Okay. Just try to remember the formulas used over here. And I'll just now, and this is unfortunately not for your syllabus, that is multimode graded index fiber. Okay. In the next class, so we'll move with what? The optical. Yes. Optical fiber connectors. It means the fiber alignment, the joint loss, fiber splicing, fiber connectors, fiber couplers. Okay, we will see that in the next class. Okay. Stop here today. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you
Thank
can ask.
you, sir. No, sir.